Hello folks, this is David Hurley of davidhurley.net bringing you the fourth of my Listnerds training video series. And in this video, I'm simply going to show you where the Listnerds white paper is on the site, and I'm going to read through it. So this is a read along with David to get you familiarized with the white paper so that you can understand more clearly what Listnerds is all about and how you can benefit from it as an affiliate marketer, a blogger, an online business, and as a crypto accumulator. So without further ado, let's hop over and find the white paper and start reading it. So we're inside Listnerds. This is the Listnerds back office. We scroll down to username and click the drop down arrow. And there's the white paper waiting for your attention. Now it's a well-written white paper, so it's not going to be too tough, I think, to go through. Listnerds, proof of mail, the first blockchain-based mailer. Blockchain is changing everything from finance to investing, social media to the metaverse. Just think virtual internet world when you hear the word metaverse. Everywhere you turn, the term blockchain seems to pop up. But when it comes to traditional online marketing, blockchain has yet to make a big impact. Sure, plenty of online businesses and affiliate marketing companies throw the term crypto in their sales pitches. But as for building a business model on the blockchain, we've yet to see it. Proof of mail is a new concept from Listnerds.com, one of the premier mailing services online. Yes, Listnerds existed in its first iteration as a safe list, but in this second iteration, starting from I think it was February 2022, the new Listnerds has been completely built on the Hive blockchain. And that is why we need a white paper to explain what that means for you. So in this brief overview, we hope to share how proof of mail will combine the trusted methods that have been tested for years in the affiliate marketing space, while at the same time adding elements to verify that marketing messages are not only getting to the recipient, but that results increase and marketing becomes more effective for businesses. So let's look at the problem of standard viral mailers and safe lists. The mailer problem. Results may vary. One of the biggest issues with traditional affiliate marketing methods is that results have been going down for years. What worked 10 years ago might not be working in today's day and age. The issues being people are bombarded with marketing messages everywhere they go, and their attention is focused elsewhere rather than on a company or individual trying to get their message across. Time and attention are worth something. Say that again. Time and attention are worth something. And for proof of mail to work, both sender and receiver of the marketing message must benefit in new ways. Enter crypto. With a traditional safe list, you benefit as a receiver of the emails by earning mailing credits if you click through and wait for the timer to count down. But Listnerds offers us an additional way to benefit by being built on the Hive blockchain. And that's what the rest of this white paper will explore. So Listnerds will introduce proof of mail as a way that everyone wins. The sender will get their messages read and acted upon, which in turn can potentially add sales and conversions to their efforts. The receiver will get quality messages verified by the community that contain no harmful links or scam messages. I can verify that that is so in my experience working with Listnerds. But with Listnerds, we also introduce a new party to the mix, the staker, which can be both sender and or receiver. In Listnerds, we will use 2 tokens to reward senders, receivers, and stakers. And they are the CTP token and the new Listnerds token. In this paper, we will outline how the proof of mail system works on Listnerds and how, for the first time in mailer history, each party wins. Proof of mail. When the mail is sent without validation, there is no reason for the sender to improve their message, and there is no reason for the receiver to actually read the mail. Proof of mail solves both these problems. In order for the mail to become validated and verified, the receiver must actually read the mail and decide whether or not to use their vote to verify that mail. This will in turn increase the quality of the mail created by the sender, with the goal of receiving more upvotes and becoming verified. The sender. The sender is the party or the person that is using Listnerds to gain mails and conversions. They will be using the system to send their messages to members of the program, members of Listnerds, that have agreed to receive those messages. There are 3 steps. The first step is to create and draft the email. Second, the message must earn plus 20 votes to be verified. Verified emails make sure the emails that are sent are of top quality. And third, there are 2 types of messages that can be sent: regular token-based emails and solo mails. All solo mails are automatically verified and sent immediately and sent to the entire membership. Regular sent mail have 7 to 10 days to be verified. And once they reach that timeline and have plus 20 verifications, they will be rewarded in Listnerd tokens. Rewards for senders. 60% of all daily Listnerd tokens are distributed to verified senders. Now, as we'll see at the end of this white paper, every day new Listnerds tokens are made available from the limited supply, and it is those newly supplied Listnerds that are distributed to the verified senders. And the verified senders are people whose emails received 20 or more votes over a course of 7 days. The receiver. This is the party that will be receiving the email messages from the senders, and they will be rewarded for taking action on the messages they receive. First, they read the messages and click any link within the email. This is proof that the receiver has viewed and read the message. Second, the receiver must verify the mail. They can either upvote it or downvote it. And as a reminder, the sender must generate 20 plus votes for the email to count towards their daily rewards. Rewards for receivers. 60% of all CTP rewards generated by Listnerds are sent to receivers that have voted email messages. The generated CTP is from Listnerds curation that will grow from the amount of CTP that is staked within Listnerds. Voting power for receivers. Default is 100 voting power that increases based on your CTP stake within Listnerds. So votes are weighted depending on the amount of CTP that you stake within Listnerds, that is in your Listnerds back office. The more CTP you stake, the more voting power you get per vote. Each vote the receiver makes requires 25 voting power. The more state CTP you have within Listnerds, the more votes you can make and the more powerful those votes are. Voting power regenerates at a rate of 20% a day. One state CTP equals one voting power. So the more CTP you have staked, the more votes you can make, and also the more power those votes have. Let's have a look at the staker. For the first time ever in Mailer history, rewards will be blockchain based, which means Listnerds can introduce technology such as proof of stake to the mix. Here's how it will reward both senders and receivers in Listnerds, simply by staking both tokens within the Listnerds system. CTP is the reward token for receivers of mails, and Listnerds is the reward token for the senders. When a member of Listnerds stakes both of these tokens inside the platform, they will receive these benefits. A share of 39% of all CTP generated daily, depending on how much CTP they have staked, and a share of 40% of all Listnerds generated daily, depending how much or how many Listnerds they have staked. Approximately 1% of all CTP generated by Listnerds will also be burnt, which helps to maintain the quality, the value of the token. Scarcity raises price. Okay, last page. The tokens in Listnerds. Listnerds token supply is 20 million. There will only ever be 20 million Listnerds tokens. 100,000 tokens will be airdropped to members of Listnerds. 1 Listnerds token for free members and 2 Listnerds tokens for upgraded members. 100,000 tokens will be placed on the market at the rate of 2 Hive per Listnerds. Since that has happened, I believe that Listnerds are now floating freely on the market, so the price will actually vary. For every 5,000 CTP that a member stakes inside of Listnerds, they will receive 1 extra Listnerds token airdrop. There is a 10-week unstaking process for Listnerds and for CTP used for the airdrop. I'll talk in another video about how to work with staking and unstaking of tokens. After that, any CTP can be unstaked in Listnerds in 7 days. Inflation schedule of Listnerds rewards pool. 5% of staked Listnerds issued daily until 2 million tokens are issued. I think that's already happened. So the amount is gradually throttled to extend out the process of distributing rewards. 4% of Listnerds will be distributed until 6 million tokens have been issued. So I guess that's where we are right now. Then it'll be throttled again, and 3% of staked Listnerds until 8 million tokens have been issued. 2% of staked Listnerds until 10 million tokens have been issued. And then 1% of staked Listnerds will be distributed until 12 million tokens have been issued. And after that, the remaining 8 million tokens will be distributed at a rate of 0.5% of staked Listnerds until depleted. So it's going to take quite a long time for the 20th million the 20 millionth listener token to be made available. So what to do? Stake as many Listnerds as you can and CTP inside listnerds.com to maximize the amount of rewards you're getting. And here is a diagram of the process of rewards and validation. So we have proof of mail is mail validation and verification. The three parties, and you can be all three. I'm a sender, a staker, and a receiver, and reader and voter of emails. So the senders creates and sends emails, earn plus 20 votes to become verified, and earns 60% of daily listeners' rewards for verified mail. That 60% is, of course, shared among all the people who have verified emails for that day. And so if you are regularly posting out and getting your emails verified, some days you'll be one of a small handful of people, and so you will get a nice big reward in Listnerds. So that is one reason why it's worth writing high quality emails that the members want to receive and are willing to upvote. Stakers earn 39% of CTP generated daily and 40% of Listnerds issued daily. So it's a good idea to stake as many tokens as you can, because even on days when you're not actively sending out or verifying emails, you will continue to earn from your stake. And then receivers of emails, the receivers read and click on mail, and then they can up or down vote the content of the mail, and how much the upvote or downvote is worth depends on the amount of CTP staked. And receivers earn 60% of the CTP rewards generated from the Listnerds curation process. Okay, folks, that is the white paper, done and dusted. Well done if you've come through it all with me. Now, I hope by reading it along with my reading of it has helped to clarify what it's all about. Listeners, it's an exciting project. Get involved, start earning those tokens and getting traffic to your content. That's it from me for now. David Hurley of davidhurley.net. Until the next Listeners training video.